This is DeRa Brinson.
And this is Effin, Mattie.
And this is TheSonicBreakdown.com representing or presenting our first podcast. This podcast was produced by William West. We thank you for it and appreciate it, man. So today we're going to present, both of us are going to present our top 10 albums, basically of 2015. Some of the albums were released in 2014, but very late in the year, so it's basically still 2015. And we also consider, this is our top 10 list that we would consider to be albums that should be considered for nomination for the Grammys in the hip-hop category. So we're going to go down our list and then explain why we picked it, basically. My number 10 album is the album About Nothing by Wale. Number 9 is Killer Mike and LP, Run the Jewels 2. Number 8 is Dr. Dre's Compton album. Number 7, A$AP Rocky, At Long Last A$AP. Number 6, The Roots, And Then You Shoot Your Cousin. Number 5, Logic Under Pressure. And number 4, Rhapsody, Beauty and the Beast. And we're going to list the top 3 albums after we go through the reasons for the 10 through 4. Here's Effin Mattie's 10 through 4.
Mine is number 10, Irk the Jerk. Number 9, Drake and Future. 8 was Vince Staples. 7 was Rhapsody. 6 was Dr. Dre. 5 was Drake's. It was a mixtape or whatever you want to call it. Is an album to me. I don't care. 4 was Lupe Fiasco.
All right, so let's break it back down to 10. For me, I got 10. The Wale, the album About Nothing. The reason why I picked Wale as number 10, or the reason why I made my number 10 album in this list, is because conceptually, I like the concept of the album. It was basically Wale having a conversation with Jerry Seinfeld, and them, based on the conversations that they were having, allowed Wale to come up with songs. I basically like the album from front to back. Excuse me. There's a couple of tracks on this album that I didn't necessarily enjoy too much, as I stated in the review that you can check out on TheSonicBreakdown.com under the breakdown page. But one of the songs I didn't like too much was The Body. It wasn't bad, but it just really didn't do it for me. As well as The One Time in Houston. The beat was okay, but I just wasn't feeling it. But other than that, the album as a whole was good. Like I said, I like the concept, and I like the fact that it was giving us like glimpses into the creative process of how he creates the songs, like how a small conversation or a small piece of a conversation can lead to him coming up with the entire song. It was fascinating to me, as well as the insights that they had with the Seinfeld song backing up the song. So clips from the TV show balancing out and confirming what you thought the album or the song was about. So that's the reason why I put Wale number 10. But the reason why it's so low on the list is because, as I mentioned, those 2 tracks. So I can't just listen to it straight through. So that's the reason why for me. But it does have high replayability. Explain why you picked it. What was your 10?
You mean my
your 10th album?
10 through okay.
No, just your 10th album.
My 10th album?
Yeah,
that was your 10th? Hey, you talking so damn much. I didn't know. You know, shit. All right. My 10th was Irk the Jerk, Local Love. I didn't pick this to be, you know, Grammy nominated or nothing. These are just the best albums that I heard this year. I mean, just like his album, he had a lot of, you know, some features from some Adrian Marcel, London Too Short, some other cats, but his beats, his lyrics. One of the better artists out of the Bay Area, you know, that nobody's really. I mean, like, he had his little run, but you know, he should be getting more credit than what he does. And that's all I have to say about it.
Okay.
Let's go to your 9. Speed this up.
Nigga, don't rush me.
Let's go.
Like, I'm gonna. Don't rush me.
Just hurry up and go.
Don't rush me.
Don't write an essay.
Hey, shut up.
Don't talk an essay.
I'll talk as long as I want to. Killer Mike and LP, Run the Jewels number 2.
What a comeback.
is my number 9.
Is your number 9?
Yeah, it's
Why?
number 9. I thought it was a very good follow up to their first album, Run the Jewels.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that they used more experimental beats. The beats range from jazz, rock, experimental. We got
Very nice.
We got distractions going on over here.
Distractions.
But, yeah, I like the fact that they used experimental beats. It still had the strong essence of hip hop. And another thing that I really enjoyed was the back and forth play between Killer Mike and LP. They both are really good lyricists, and they give us that back and forth that you got from Kanye and Jay-Z in Watch the Throne, and that we used to see all the time back in the early stages of hip hop. So it kind of had that nostalgic feel, and they felt like the way they completed each other's rhymes. It was like a symbiotic relationship. How well it was done, to me, and so that's why I put it on that 9th spot.
Killer Mike was on Bill Maher too.
Yeah, he's a deep brother. I mean,
he's an activist.
Yeah, he's an activist. He's lyrically sound, and he talks about that on Run the Jewels too.
My number 9 was Drake and Future. What a time to be alive. Basically, this album, I mean, it's you'd be nodding your head on every track.
Not everybody.
I mean, most people. How about that?
Okay.
You know, I like especially, I mean, I like for a fact that for it to be considered a mixtape, but you know, it really caught on like as an album. A lot of people really are on it. I just feel as though like it had a theme to it. You know, with all the titles of the album. You know, Jerseys and Drake's freestyle at the end of the album, 30 for 30, Jumpman, scholarships. You know, it's just referring to just sports and stuff like that. You know, so there's a theme. So there's some artistry to it that doesn't get recognized.
Okay.
And yeah, that's my 9.
All right, my number 8 is Dr. Dre Compton. I thought this album was really good. I do. I thought the instrumentation on the album was superbly done. It was sophisticated and very clean. There was no point in the album where I felt there was sound that shouldn't be there, or sound that was missing, or a audible cue, or a sonic property that I felt could have made it better or elevated it. Everything fit perfectly, which is what you expect from Dr. Dre. He's a perfectionist when it comes to production. So you definitely get that. The lyrical content is stunning, it's stellar. You got great guest spots from Kendrick. Another person that I found, this is my first time hearing, was Anderson .Paak on this album, and he's flooded all through this album.
Dude,
and
dope.
He's
dope.
It makes sense why he put him so heavily featured on this album, because of the talent that he possesses.
I think he had more features than Kendrick on.
Yeah, he did. No,
Compton,
he
right?
he had definitely more. Because Kendrick only had 2.
Yeah,
2
on
features.
top of I think in a couple of other songs, he's like you'll hear his voice, but he probably won't get any any credit on it. But yeah, like you'll just hear his little subliminals. Like that's his voice still.
Yeah,
that's a good trick. That's a good pick.
Yeah, and I felt like the production was sophisticated, like I said, high level production, without losing the central West Coast feel. It felt very California. It felt, because sometimes people confuse sophistication with something that you hear higher level, like from New York sound or East Coast sound sometimes, and I don't feel like this was the case in this album. To me, the only thing that held it back, why I put it so low as number 8, is because of the extended amount of features. It took away from me the cohesiveness, because it's just so many people talking or rapping that it caused some cohesive lag for me. But it is expected, because like you said, it is Dre, and that's what you expect to hear. I'm not saying it still made the album good, but for me, it took away from it. I wish there was just less features to give it a little bit more cohesiveness. But again, I think it's a great album, or a good album, because I made number 8.
Okay, my 8 was Vince Staples, sorry. Summertime '06. This album was on the artistry side, like it was well put together. It was 20 tracks, but it was the first 10 was 1 through 10, and the second 10 was like, you know, he had to like 1, 2 through 10 again, so it was pretty, you know,
more like chapters, like in a book.
Yeah, the way it was set up and stuff like that. He has 2 skits, you know, Ramona Park and then Ramona Park Part 2 on the second 10 on the album.
I thought this album was good. It would have made my top 15.
He got real.
It's not my top 10 though.
He got real political. Like he's a political dude. You know, talking about, you know, things that are relevant, you know, today and whatnot. I think him and Kendrick Lamar are really, like, they put a heavy emphasis on that, like, in their albums, like throughout the album, like with both of them, similarities, you know, LA cats. That's what they do, I guess.
There was something lacking, and I can't really put my finger on it. It just, I heard it, I liked it, but it didn't have the replayability for me. I just noticed that myself. I didn't pick it up as much. And I'm not sure why, but I just didn't. So that's why it didn't make my top 10 though. But moving on to number 7 is A$AP Rocky's At Long Last A$AP. I've been rocking with A$AP for a minute, so that might be some of my bias. I do think this was a very good album. Again, high production value. I do think that he stepped up his lyricism. I don't think, again, I'm not saying he's a lyricist to the quality of J. Cole or Kendrick, but I do think his lyrical ability was elevated in this album in comparison to his last album. Not to say the last album was bad, but he just improved. I also like, the thing that attracts me to A$AP Rocky is his flow. I think he has a great flow. He knows how to pick production, and he knows how to ride over those beats. And he does it well, and he does it in an interesting, fun manner, but that still gives you the feeling of high-end class or high-end sophistication, like he talks about the high-end clothing that he wears.
He put a huge emphasis on fashion in this album. I guess that's what he's really, you know, trying to get into and stuff like that. So I liked it because he in his first album is like he's just talking about, like, it's just, you know, different things. It's not he's talking about something else that he's experienced in his life, you know, new, you know, uncharted waters, and now he's, you know, relaying that to everybody else. You know, it's 3 years, you know, since he put out his first album was 3 years ago in 2012. So I mean,
wow, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Now that I thought about that, because I didn't think about that, that makes sense. Like I said, the growth that I hear in his lyricism.
It's 3 years, a lot, you know. Like
one of the things that I didn't notice that was heavy on this was that there was a trippy, heavy, sentimental or cinematic atmosphere. I think a lot of that was due to the results of A$AP Yams dying and that having a toll on him, and I think that affected the type of production that he picked. I don't think he would have picked maybe as heavy laden production as he did that had more of an emotional ring than his last album. I think that it's sad to say, but, you know, the best art is usually created out of tragedies, and I think the tragedy of A$AP Yams dying caused his music to be elevated, caused him to grow.
He had some great features, you know. I mean, he had Rod Stewart, Miguel, UGK, not just Bun B. Like he had Pimp C on there too, like UGK and Juicy J as well. Kanye, and then that Schoolboy, MIA, and Future. I mean, he has some.
And then that new dude, Joe Fox.
Joe Fox is all over there.
You know how he found Joe Fox?
How?
He found Joe Fox walking from his hotel on the street just playing a guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
To me, Fox has a lot of, what I heard on this album, he has a lot of range. He has the potential to be, I don't want to overblow him or hold him to a standard that I don't think he can live up to, but he has like a John Dylan, like a songwriter ability of him, like a Bob Marley soul in his voice that you can hear on certain tracks on that album. To me, like Holy Ghost.
You got all that from him, huh?
Mm-hmm. From Holy Ghost,
I don't know about all of that shit, soul, but you know,
from the way he chose to sing that chorus,
Yeah.
But
don't
again,
know
I
about
have to see more from him to see if that opinion sticks.
Yeah, you should like keep that opinion to yourself until you see
No.
more.
It's already on the review on TheSonicBreakdown.com.
It shouldn't
on the
been.
breakdown page.
It shouldn't have been.
It should be.
That's horrible.
No. Go. What's your number 7, fool?
7 is Rhapsody for me.
Why you got her so low, bro? That album was great.
That album was good. Yeah, it was cool.
Alright, so
first, I had no idea who she was honestly until I heard her on the Complexion track on Kendrick Lamar's album. And I gave her a shot, and I really liked it. It was real soulful. She's an MC, you know what I'm saying? She's not the MC, not a Nicki Minaj, or I don't even want to mention Iggy Azalea, but I don't even want to say the name, but she's nothing like that. She's not gonna be taking her clothes off and shit like that. She's just.
No, she's just to me. If you take it, you don't even have to say she's a good female MC. She's just a good MC.
She's just a good MC. Yeah,
just
exactly.
in general, like in the review that I wrote about her, I said.
Like Queen Latifah 2.0 type shit.
Yeah, I said she's a mixture of Rakim's smooth delivery, MC Light's edge or feminine aggression, Lauryn Hill's emotional connection, and a splash of Queen Latifah's positivity and unifying qualities. That's what I wrote about her, is because she has that, if you like, throughout the album, she has that rough, hard MC Light feel, but then she is about positivity, about trying to make society better. And with her little advices, like in The Man, like exposing how a subsection of the population lives, so that other people won't judge that person as hard, because if you understand where somebody comes from, you're less likely to pass judgment on them.
Can't wait to hear more. Can't wait for her to, see what she does next. But
you should check out her album that she had before that one, though.
It's the same one.
No, not that one. It's called Return of the B Girl.
How the hell do you know? I told this fool about her. How do you know? Now you know? Getting low bridged. Getting low bridged left and right over here. It's all good. All right, what are we on?
Number 6. All right, you want to go with number 6, or you want to go with mine?
My number 6 was Compton. So like I said, it's Dre. It wasn't better than his first 2 albums. I'll say that, but it was a really good album.
Would you disagree with that? The high amount of features was
no, I don't know. That's Dr. Dre. That's what he does. Yeah. I expected that. He's not a rapper. He's a DJ. He's a producer. So that's not what that's what he's always been.
Okay.
So that's something that you should already expected.
I did expect it. 6. I didn't expect as much. So.
Yeah, I give him 6. I didn't expect Jill Scott to be on the track.
Hey, that to me was one of the standout tracks of that album.
I didn't expect that.
That to me was one of the standout tracks of the album.
Really
I still go back to that.
And I didn't know that Marsha Ambrosius was signed to him. I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't. She's on like 3 tracks, something like that. Damn.
I didn't know that.
So yeah. So let's go to 5 then.
I gotta do my 6. My 6 is The Roots, and then you shot your country. Then you shot your cousin. My bad. To me, this album, the reason why I put it so high is because of its unique and innovative concept that it has in this album. To me, this is like the equivalent of a hip hop opera. When I played it straight through, it takes me to. I've only been to one opera in my life, so.
I've been to none.
I've only have.
And I haven't heard this album either.
I only have one opera. Well, I've been to one, but I've seen 2 or 3 on video. And the feeling that I got from seeing those and being at the one is the same feeling I got from this album. The only difference was with this album, it was music and sounds and that I was more familiar with, because it is The Roots. It's, you got Questlove, you got the whole band that's bringing qualities and sounds that I'm familiar with, from hip hop, from jazz, from blues, that I can relate to. But this album still had that same feel of an opera. Just the sounds and the places that it took you, the stories that it was telling, just with sound and just with lyrics that wasn't directly leading to a story. So that's what did it for me with that album. So that's why I put it so high, because it was so daring, and I feel like they took a big risk. You know, even though the Roots is big and they're on Jimmy Fallon, they're when it comes to black bands right now, they're the shit, and they still took that daring path and still made a great album. I still put it on the level of any other Roots albums. The Roots to me has never made really a bad album. So this lives up to the quality that you expected, but it's in a different manner. I really encourage people that like hip hop, that like hip hop to push the borders of hip hop, to really check out this album. So that's the reason why I put it up so high.
All right.
Number 5.
My 5 was Drake. If you're reading this, it's already too late.
Okay.
I mean, track for track, the albums, I mean, it slapped.
Okay.
The fact that he dropped it around this time last year, just dropped it, and it got the recognition, it got the reception that it did, half the album is a single, like on the radio. You've heard half the album on the radio, right?
Yeah, that's true. It would be in my top 15, just not my top 10.
Gotta go by popularity as well.
Not for me.
It's pretty popular.
I just go by sound and emotion, and
He's gassing.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad album. Like I said, it made my top 15, just not my top 10.
Okay. What's your 5?
My 5 is Logic. I know Matt hates it. Matt, yeah, you hear that whistle? That was.
Hey, what's your 4?
Mattie.
What's your 4?
No, let me finish telling my.
I don't want to hear about Logic.
Well, I don't care. Maybe our listeners do. I put Logic, Under Pressure, as my number 5. To me, this was my first real listen to Logic as a complete album, not a mixtape. I really don't like Logic too much as a mixtape. Any of his mixtapes, really, but I do like this album as well as the next album. They both to me are really good. This entire album is it gives you an introspective look into Logic's life, I feel like I have a better understanding of who he is and his surroundings and what he went through to get to this point. He talks about his father, things of that nature that gets you a little bit more in touch with him. I think it's a really good album, and it, like I said in the review, it made me feel like I was a fly on the wall in his life.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet.
But it made my top 5 because I do listen to it a lot.
What's your 4?
My 4 is, like I said, Rhapsody, Beauty and the Beast. It was a great album. She's a great MC. She deserves it. Her songs give a great perspective of the point of a female, but she also touches on topics that give social context, a deeper meaning in her manner. Like I said, she's a mixture of Rakim, MC Lyte, Lauryn Hill, and Queen Latifah. So that's why she made my top 4. She's, to me, that good. And I would encourage people to check out her other albums in her discography, because I think they're worth a listen to as well. And I can't wait to hear what's up next.
Yeah, like I said, yeah. I know I really can't though. Like, I really like her voice.
Me too.
Like soothing. Just, great. My 4 is Lupe Fiasco, Tetsu and Youth. Or You. Sorry, is it Youth or You?
Youth.
I haven't seen it in hella long.
Youth.
Like the album cover, I haven't seen it in hella long. So, but yeah, that's a really good, man. This is a dope album. Like, I keep telling you this. I'll tell everybody now. He was out here in the city in San Francisco. Me and my cousin, some other homies, we went and watched him. Like he didn't get any support from his label. Like you could just tell. Like his little, I don't even know you could call it a tour. it was empty. It was at the Regency, I think, at the Regency Ballroom. Like I've been there before for instance, French Montana packed more people in there than Lupe did. It's like, wow, this dude's been nominated for a Grammy on this last album. Like, it was crazy. But it was a really good album. The production, the lyrics, yeah, it's nothing I could really. I mean, it really did get me back to to the the kick push Lupe, to the
Food and Liquor, the cool.
Yeah, both of those exactly. That's what it reminded me of. He got back to that Lupe on here. It just sucks that he didn't get the promotion and the support from his record label. And this was his last meal with him anyway. So hopefully looking towards the future. Hopefully him and Kanye can rekindle something. He get back on the right track because he needs to be on that mainstream apparatus for real. The dude is nice. Yeah, that's my 4.
All right, so now we're moving into the top 3. My 3rd is Lupe Fiasco, Testing Youth. As Mattie just went through, to me that was just a great album. If you go from the first song to the last song, from the cover to the titles of the track to the content in the track, everything was so meticulously thought out. Everything was put into place specifically for that reason, to elevate or promote a concept, an idea, or the artistic quality of it. The fact that he had the different changes in seasons, that also led to the different feels in the songs.
Had to be thought out.
You know what I mean? It's like,
it's the seasons, like just the sound.
It's just the
sound.
But you still
the summer one was you just heard like had little kids outside playing, like voices of little kids outside laughing and stuff, and water and it was dripping and stuff like that.
Yeah, just by listening to it with no words for the seasons, you already, even if you didn't look at the track, you can already get a feel of what it was. If somebody were to say, "What season is this?" without looking at the title of the track, you can say, "I guess this has to be either spring or summer."
Yeah, it has to be
one of the warmer seasons. Like, you can just get that feel, and that set the tone for the songs to follow. It was, like I said, it was so thought out. After the first season, the intro to Murals alone, like the first track alone, is I believe like 7 or 8 minutes, but the lyrical content in that,
took that beat from Young Jeezy.
I can still hear it. Like, even every time I listen to it now, and it's been out a whole year, there's still new things in that song alone that you like. Oh, I didn't pick up on that. It's that lyrically dense. That's how dense that album is.
Yeah,
and it's worth it. So that's why I put it as number 3. I just think overall, it was a very well done album. Like Mattie said, that it's the closest album we've had from Lupe to the Cool and Food and Liquor. Not the sound, but the feeling, the high level of lyricism matched with the production. So that's why I'm in my top 3. And for me, my top 3 was very easy to pick. And number 3 for Lupe, I really didn't have to think about that one.
My 3rd was A$AP Rocky.
You put him up high.
This is a really good album to me. Honestly, him, putting a lot of emphasis on fashion, him, having, the feelings and the morning of, A$AP Yams and the features, the guy Joe Fox, how you were talking about him earlier. Who gets Rod Stewart on a track? Like, who does that? Like A$AP Rocky of all people. Like, what? Mos Def. What's the dude's name? Fauntleroy. What's it?
James
Fauntleroy. Yeah.
But all of the features, even the Rod Stewart one,
UGK.
You can think that it seems like it could be a gimmick, but like it fits. It's not even a gimmick. It's just that song fits. Like, there's been songs where you get somebody famous as an old rock star or whatever, and it's just a gimmick to get people to go to it. Like that song is literally good.
Yeah, him and Miguel, that was a nice. MIA and in the future. Yeah. It's that track kind of like, I don't know. You got to be kind of in a mood for it. Yeah. Cause like some days I listen to it and like I don't like this song. Other days I'm like, oh, I can get into it. Whatever. But yeah, even the track with Kanye, that's a pretty nice collaboration together. But yeah, just the whole album. Like I said, it's pretty. You know, even the artwork. You know, the album cover. You know, just like that was that mask that and then he's he's pulling. Two faces, yeah, exactly. So
two faces merged into one.
It was pretty well thought out. Yeah, just that's ASAP.
And I think it was fitting that they had the last voice or last person to talk on the album is ASAP Yams. Yeah. I think that was nice. A nice tribute.
Yeah, it was nice.
My number 2. We're getting down to the wire, guys. Now top 2 albums. My number 2, hands down, no contest. J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hills Drive. The approach that he took for me on this one was a more introspective, but still had a societal frame of mind thinking of it. So it was more of we seeing how he sees society through his eyes versus how society sees us or how society is as a whole. I think the lack of features, because there is no features on here.
No features
at all, to me is daring and shows to the level of lyrical capabilities that J. Cole has. That he's strong enough of an artist to not have any features and it still be a great album. The production quality is great. He also did, I believe, all of that.
He produced the whole album himself.
Yeah, I believe he did all of that. But it just gives you a nice look into his life, where he's from, and how he sees life. There is an auspicious type of vibe that permeates through the whole album that kind of gives you that ability of like I'm seeing something or I'm hearing something that necessarily I shouldn't be. So it gives you that I guess fear factor in essence. That adds a nice quality to the album for me. Like it's a secret. Like you shouldn't be hearing this, but you are, because he's giving you so much personal accounts of certain things. And like Firing Squad, when people blew up about that and saying that he's taking shots at Macklemore and Iggy, but really at the end of the day, was he? To me, it's not taking shots if it's true.
Yeah.
And he didn't say it in a way that he was trying to be like outright disrespectful. Like he was just, to me, speaking the truth and giving you insight. And I like also how he had the titles that paid homage to like the classic albums, to like all the classic albums, and how it was written on the track list. Like there was sections where it paid homage to like Nas's album Illmatic, the way that the words were written. It just was a great album, hands down. I can listen to it from front to back, never skipping a track, multiple times. That album came out very early in the year. I still listen to it now.
J. Cole's number 2 for me as well. It's just LeVar said it all. Honestly, it's, no features. Just dropped it. Like here, just no, didn't have any promotion for it or anything. Produced the whole album himself. That's pretty cool. That's pretty.
Yeah, that is. That's amazing.
As good as it is, it's like crazy. Damn, nobody helped you out. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had his people on his team, helping him out, mixing things and whatnot. But for the most part, it's just J. Cole, constructing his own album. So yeah, I think the Fire Squad. I mean, I really did like that track. He's just putting an emphasis on what things really are. There ain't no point to really get into it. It's just, but you just see it. When the powers that be, or mainstream people, get a hold of something, it just gets watered down. You know what I'm saying? Iggy Azalea, she blew up so hard because she's a white girl. But I mean, she's Australian at that, But
she got the international appeal.
But it's
but Macklemore talked about that with white privilege too, about how just the fact that he's white helped him get the sales or reach the level of popularity that he reached so quickly, and to the heights that he reached, because the fact that people can just relate off top without even him saying a word. They can just relate because they look the same.
It's like you're doing African American shit, but you're not African American, so it's kind of like, yeah, but it was nonetheless the album was really good.
All right, so this is my number one album.
It's our number one album.
Okay, well let me say our number one album is Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. There's really nothing I can say that can speak to the level of how much I really, really, really enjoy this album. As I said in the review.
Can I pause you for a second?
Go ahead.
This album was freaking epic, and that's all. I ain't gonna say nothing else. That's it. Boom, drops the mic.
Well, what I'm gonna say to that is, as I said in the review, this album is very complex. Which is something that can be hard to distinguish or to digest for a casual listener. Like, you can't just necessarily just put on this album and ingest it or take it all in. You have to really, I don't want to say study it, but you have to, really get intimate with this album to really appreciate the level of greatness that it has, at least to me. Just touching on some of the aspects that I said that I found in it is the album has amazing similarities to one of my favorite books, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. In that book, it's just so, this album is so dense and so deep that it's hard to even explain, but the pimp is, as we all know one to be, a person that exploits someone for their talent or skills for monetary gain. So that's what, of course, the pimp in this title means. The butterfly represents the talent, the skills, and positive attributes to society that black people possess, or African Americans, or just minorities in general possess. We all have this innate ability to be butterflies. We just have to be in an environment that allows us to go from that caterpillar to that butterfly. And that's basically what he's talking about in this situation. And it so happens that in a lot of, especially entertainment, in the entertainment world, when black people are caterpillars, and people that have the money or have the means to turn you into a butterfly, they use that and instead of giving you the monetary gain or giving you the freedom to be turned into a butterfly, they pimp you and take that money, and then they turn you into what they want you to be, to either portray or push forward those negative stereotypes that you see of either African Americans or minorities, or just, again, to gain that monetary advantage. And he speaks to all that on such deep levels, but in such a unique and sophisticated and creative way. One of the things that I even picked up in, like I said in the song, For Free, he purposely, to me, says, this dick ain't free, in that manner, so vocally, so viciously, so rough, so angrily, to make it the point that he wants it to be brash. He wants it to be, but that attention to detail is found from the very beginning of the track, where they have the record playing that says every nigga's a star, to the end of the track, where he goes through the poem and Tupac's the Tupac interview. So, this hands down, again, like I said, I've listened to... Who has George Clinton
on their album? Who puts George Clinton on their album, man? George Clinton. What?
He touches on every strong black genre: jazz, funk, soul, R&B, old school hip hop, new school hip hop, spoken word, poetry. Like Mattie said, to me, again, another thing that I compared this album to is Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Because for me, this album did exactly what Marvin Gaye's What's Going On did. It took a snapshot of what Marvin Gaye's What's Going On took a snapshot of what the 60s and the 70s was feeling. I've never lived in the 60s, but if you listen to What's Going On, and I've talked to people that lived in the 60s, and I explained to them the feeling that I got from What's Going On, and they said that's exactly how it was. I feel 30, 40 years from now, when people talk about this album, that they can possibly have that same feeling of, that's how we felt regarding the police shootings, the Baltimore riots, Tamar Rice, I Can't Breathe, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Ferguson shootings, like all of that encompassed, as well as everything else that's not in the media that's being talked about. That is a feeling that black people feel, and that was expressed through this album. In a way, and it only didn't bring to light the negative things that we feel society puts on black people, but it also highlighted our flaws, such as in Complexions, when he's talking about Complexions and Black of the Berry, where he talks about how we discriminate against ourselves based on the color of our skin or the complexion of our color. So like he picks on everything, not just the positive things that we do, the negative things that we do, not just the positive things that happen in society towards us, but the negatives that happens in society towards us. He even goes to the political route of what is it?
Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, Democrats and Republicans. Like, so he just covers so much in an album that it's not like it's 18-track album. You know what I mean? But it's so much that is covered in this album adds to the greatness of it. And so that's why it made my top 1 album. And I think if I was on the Grammy board, that would have to be the album that wins Hip Hop Album of the Year.
Yeah. Then for free, it didn't feel like it was like a deleted scene from Love Jones or something. You just
yeah.
him on the stage.
So, yeah.
Nia, what's happening?
I just want to quickly mention some of the albums that I believe should get a shout out that again were close for me that didn't quite make the top 10. Joey Badass, Before the Money, I really thought was a really good album. It really brings that boom bap rap, that feel, that and he's spitting. He's really spitting, and he does give an introspective look. Like in Curry Chicken, where he's talking about like the relationship with his mom, and then there's another track I can't think of the name of it, where you really feel that connection that he has to his friends and his homies, the loyalty that he has when he lets his boy in jail listen to the song he's playing. I don't remember the name of the track at this time, but I just felt that album was really well done, and it was close. It almost knocked Wale out for me. Isaiah Rashad's album, I think, was really, really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he comes out with next. Let me think. I think that's really those two I just really wanted to make sure I mentioned was Joey Badass, again, Before the Money. I think that should be checked out. And Isaiah Rashad's. Absol had a good album. It would have made my top 20. I don't know about the top 15. But J-Rock, 90059. Would have made it was so close. I think if I spent a little bit more time with it, I think it would have moved up and definitely knocked out Wale. But I think that was a very good album. I think the song with Absol, Schoolboy Q, and Kendrick, the way that each of them flow on there is the way Absol flows on that album. If you look at the lyrics and then look at how the beat progresses, you would see that it's like amazing how he got what he said to flow over that beat. I really think he did a real good job, and I think J-Rock did a great job. He unlocked his inner ODB on I can't think of the song right now, on one of the songs though. Like literally, if you hear it, you're like, is this ODB? It was that good. So it was a high consideration. It just fell short though. Again, I think if I gave it a little more time, was a little more intimate with it, I think it might have went up a spot. Is there any honorable mentions for you? Vince Staples too, but it wasn't as high as J-Rock or Joey Badass for me.
When I made my top 10, Vince Staples didn't make it, but then I put him in there. I've been realistic. I really like his album. I just think he signed to Def Jam as well.
I didn't know that.
Him and Janae Eiko are label mates. She was on his album as well. Yeah, can't wait to see what else he's about to do. How about Big Grams, Fantagram and Big Boy?
I checked it out. It was alright to me. I just couldn't lock in on it though.
I never, like I said, just like Rhapsody, how I discovered her through Kendrick Lamar's album. That's how I discovered
Fentagram?
Fentagram off of Big Boy's album, Dangerous Lies and Vicious Rumors. It's like they produced like 3 tracks on his album. It was like the beats were just stupid. That trip hop thing is getting bigger and bigger every year. And they collabed together and got did an album together, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That's something people should listen to. What else?
That's all I can think of for me for right now. But there is some other things I do want to mention. We got the Mattie section on the TheSonicBreakdown.com coming up shortly. It should have a article feature that talks a little bit about
Anderson .Paak or Pack. It's Pack.
So we should have that up. Check in. We already have all the reviews that are on there right now. All the albums that I have on my list have been reviewed on the TheSonicBreakdown.com under the breakdown page. Check out our Sonic Premiere page as well. That has a lot of new artists that a lot of people might not know about, like Jones, this great R&B singer, as well as Emerald Swamp is this rap collabo group. And then we also have Mark Clark, who is a young up-and-coming dude from Florida, who's I've been rocking with him for a minute on the TheSonicBreakdown.com, and I think he's somebody you should check out and just keep an eye out for in the future. And check back next month for the next podcast. We're gonna try to have a podcast up at least once a month, depending on how much you guys like it. Shoot us feedbacks, comments, and let us know. Man, if you don't get out of my face, bro. We got Matt over here messing with me. Like, shoot.
That was hilarious. Did you get that?
So we try to. I'm trying to get this podcast off, and this fool messing with me. But anyways, so keep on following with us, keep on rocking with us. We gonna keep on evolving, growing. Like I say on the website, the Sonic Breakdown's about music on all levels. Like, Sonic properties go through every atom. Sonic sound waves go through every atom. That's how we're trying to affect this culture and trying to go through everything, man. So keep rocking with us. Again, check the website, TheSonicBreakdown.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, all of it. Either TheSonicBreakdown.com or The Sonic Breakdown. Thanks for rocking with us, yo. So this is DeRa, Brinson, Effin, Mattie, and my boy, the producer, of course, William West. So keep an eye out for us. TheSonicBreakdown.com.
You bitch.
Yo, bitch. This is DeRa Brinson.
And this is Effin Mattie.
And this is TheSonicBreakdown.com presenting our first podcast. This podcast was produced by William West. We thank you for it and appreciate it, man. So today we're going to present, both of us are going to present our top 10 albums, basically of 2015. Some of the albums were released in 2014, but very late in the year, so it's basically still 2015. And we also consider, this is our top 10 list that we would consider to be albums that should be considered for nomination for the Grammys in the hip-hop category. So we're going to go down our list and then explain why we picked it, basically. My number 10 album is the album About Nothing by Wale. Number 9 is Killer Mike and LP, Run the Jewels 2. Number 8 is Dr. Dre's Compton album. Number 7, A$AP Rocky, At Long Last A$AP. Number 6, The Roots, And Then You Shoot Your Cousin. Number 5, Logic Under Pressure. And number 4, Rhapsody, Beauty and the Beast. And we're going to list the top 3 albums after we go through the reasons for the 10 through 4. Here's